Honorable Minister, the government, this administration has decided to take infrastructure provision headlong using whatever forms of funds, local and borrowings to build roads and sign on these projects. But again, when and how do you think the handshake with the private sector should be in place for this kind of infrastructure that will raise the game for industrialization?
Well, just last week, I think it was last week, the president signed Executive Order 7. And Executive Order 7 was to further open up the space for private sector participants to commit and invest in infrastructure. Executive Order 7 responds to the request of manufacturing companies to be allowed to pull together, in some instances, to build and repair roads that lead to their factories. And efficient roads around industrial clusters certainly mean efficiency in their business. And they will be doing so by using their own money and claiming it as tax credit later on. That is one. The president has also signed Executive Order 5, by which he commits to giving Nigerians every opportunity where they have competence in the entire build infrastructure. So whenever we're building now, we're ensuring that Nigerians first. My ministry, for example, has conducted an audit of all our construction sites to find out how many Nigerians are working there, how many foreigners are working there, and we are beginning to ask all of the foreigners there to show us a visa to enter Nigeria where they are non-ECOWAS nationals, and also a work permit, even where they are ECOWAS nationals, but who don't have a work permit, because we want to give those jobs to Nigerians. So these are the commitments that this government is making, and these are the commitments that the president has agreed to. In terms of also funding, the Sukuk, we just issued the second Sukuk, and again, it was oversubscribed, and over 1,000 private entrepreneurs subscribed to that Sukuk, and they're asking for more. This country just issued a bond in December in Europe, and it was oversubscribed again. And that shows the confidence that is coming back to the economy. And I'm also glad to note that you are reporting this morning on your station that the Naira is gaining momentum and converging and reducing the space for habitat. So the fundamentals of the economy are heading in the right direction. What we need to do is to consolidate it. And that is why I urge, as the elections come on, Nigerians must make a sensible choice, because sensible choices for the economy have been made by this administration over the last 3.5 years, compared to what we've had in almost 2 decades, when we've frittered away all our resources, all our foreign exchange earnings. We earned billions of dollars in foreign exchange, no infrastructure worthy of the name to show for it. And so we're starting almost from ground zero in areas, and we're doing so with less resources. And that's why I argue every time that when it comes to economic choices for this nation, this administration has done more with less, and they should give it an opportunity to continue and consolidate and really reap, for Nigerians to reap the benefits.
Honorable Minister, let's step into the power sector. Of course, the privatization program is 5 years old this year, so there's been look that there will be some reviews. So what reviews will you be doing? What should Nigerians and investors expect from the power sector?
Well, I think in the last quarter of last year, within the remit of my authority by law, I had issued directives to the Regulatory Commission, NERC, to enforce and apply the law in a way that ensures balance between consumers and also the operators. One of the things that this administration has championed is not just the expansion of the grid, which we have expanded from 5 to 7,000 megawatts, but also incremental power, which has increased from 4,000 to over 7,000 megawatts. And distribution has also increased, but we need to do a lot more there to get power to the last mile. And you will see that our off-grid solutions, which were not there before we came, they have been something that this administration has put in the forefront, targeting economies. So last week we were in area, 4,000 markets have been connected, and we're going to connect the remaining 33 to include all of the entire 37 shops in that market. That is our home for Made in Nigeria. So we're tying all of the pieces together. The governor has done the road, which is infrastructure. We have brought the power to the market, which is infrastructure. Now, Bank of Industry and all of the commercial concerns there, will now provide the access to credit to grow the potential of Area. We have done the same thing in Ikmori. We have done the same thing in Sura Market. And we're doing the same thing in Sabongari Market, and we're expanding this. 9 universities are also having their own independent power plants now being developed, while we consolidate the progress that we are making on the grid. There's a distribution expansion program coming up, which we will take to council soon to help us evacuate the 2,000 megawatts that we really can't get to the last mile. That is government's investment in power as a 40% shareholder in the distribution companies. Added to that is the meter asset provider regulations that we have made. We have now licensed 108 different companies to supply and install meters. They are going through process in readiness to deploy meters. This is different from the meter supply contract that was awarded in the previous administration in 2003 for 20-something billion naira that ended up in court. And this is part of our own creative way of creating jobs. So meter supply, meter installation is work coming down the line. Just last week, you might recall that my ministry also announced the launch of a national infrastructure maintenance program. This is a targeted program to solve the problem of maintenance, not only in providing full value for assets, infrastructure when they are built, but also in creating jobs down the line. The built industry, only about 30% are employed by design, construction, and governance. 77% of those who work in the built environment gain their employment from maintenance and operation. This is the first time a government is committing to maintenance from our own buildings. So we're going to start maintenance of prisons, of schools, of hospitals, of courtrooms, our own secretariats, to employ plumbers, artisans, welders, landscapers, masons. You see, you can't have a broken window, you can't have a leaking pipe, and then a plumber has no job. This government is connecting those pieces together, and the jobs are on the way.
Finally, Mr. Honorable Minister, the Economic and Recovery Growth Plan, I'm sure infrastructure is at the heart of it. So, and this is a 2017-2020 program. So, technically, the ERGP has about 2 years to go, as it were, technically speaking. Where do we see infrastructure here to help the ERGP achieve its objectives? And how soon do you think this will be coming? That we'll see this infrastructure translate into the ERGP growth projections and all of that?
Well, the infrastructure is already having an impact. If you drive on the Ilorin-Jeba road, that road used to take 1 week for drivers to navigate. It was a 93-kilometer road. We've completed that. It is now 1 hour's journey. If you drive on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, your driving experience will be better today. People used to sleep on that road. If you drive on the Benin or Shagamu road, your experience will be better. People used to sleep on that road. From Sokoto, Tambuwa, Jega, the same is true. We've completed almost 108 kilometers of that section. So on every section that we have completed, your driving experience is better. On Alesi, Uget towards Cross River State, your driving experience will be better. People used to stay there for 3 days. We've completed 70 kilometers thereabouts of that road, and the second phase, about 60-something kilometers, work has been awarded and should start. As far as the ERGP is concerned, the critical objectives are first to drive growth in the economy, to invest in the Nigerian people, and to create a globally competitive economy. Infrastructure is one of the many items, 50 items of commitment, and they do not end in my ministry. They also extend to the Ministry of Transportation to improve the quality and service levels at our ports, at our airports, and on the rail. And as you know, the Lagos-Kano rail project has already started. All of the critical roads in Lagos, like the Apapa-Urushoki road, have now been awarded. Lagos-Ota road has been awarded. Work is going on there. The Ikorodu to Shagamu road has been. So all of these are freeing up road arteries that have been congested for almost 2 decades. And so we won't finish that overnight. They are going to be built man hour after man hour. So people can now see that all of the problems that have held back this economy, that have not allowed it to grow inclusively, are now being tackled. Yes, we used to have growth before, but it was always reported that it was non-inclusive growth. And by 2015, growth had declined to about 2.7%. And here we are. So this is a chance to build a more enduring economy that will last against the vicissitudes of fluctuating oil prices, because it will be based on a robust foundation of infrastructure where we can compete globally.
We thank you for your time today, Honorable Minister Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, in charge of Power, Works and Housing. We wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Live from our Abuja studios. And coming up after the break, messy politics, electoral cycles, and the business and economy and the market. We put all of that together. How much impact do politics and elections have on business? Is it a game changer, or is being a bad poster boy? We'll talk about that when we come back.